This is the Race Communiqué with Luke Durbridge, Tom Southam, and me, Mitch. Brought to you exclusively by Training Peaks and our friends at MAP.
All right, boys. Let's get everything right. Where are you guys? Hello, boys. I can hear some
Mitch.
noise in the background.
I've got some Belgian guys talking crap in my hotel.
He's got two Formula One commentators in the room next door, like just doing a practice run. It's going to take them 2 hours, whatever it takes.
I might need to shut that door.
Not like Belgians to be loud.
No, that's true. I'm currently in the lobby of a hotel in, where am I? Limburg region, Belgium. Just drove here. So Valerio Piva is one of our directors. His wife owns a hotel out that area. I can't really pronounce it. It's like Malapertus or something. Malpertus, yeah. Anyway, so we're staying here for Renewy Tour. We drove here straight from Hamburg.
Oh, no.
You've got that.
I forgot about that race. I forgot about Nico. I completely forgot about Nico too.
Yeah, here I am.
I've seen some screenshots that have been chucked around our DS group with some of the roads you guys are going to go down. Like every year is kind of a running joke as to like how narrow, like through a shopping mall, basically like along a bike path next to a canal. And there's been a few floating around. It's going to be fun.
I don't think I moved from last wheel in Hamburg. I mean,
I saw you there. 155, Durbo's number.
I stayed there all day. Matthews crashed out, unfortunately, within first lap. He came down and our leader was gone. So it was sort of like, ooh, and then there was lots of crashes and people coming down. So I thought I'm just going to, make this future Luke's problem and try and move up every time on the Wasserberg. But then, all good. All good. I finished. I haven't finished Hamburg in many years, so I'm happy with that. There we go. I wasn't on the side of the road with Southam.
You were rapt about it. You were sending like message after message last night because you got around Hamburg.
I was so deep, bro. So deep. Mate, yeah. Anyway, we're good.
Mate, I've got it on Do Not Disturb mode. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Boys, here we go. Let's get into this. Boys, welcome here. I am joined by Tom Southam, Sports Director at EF Easy Post. Luke Durbridge, the retiring rider, swan songing. He's just rounding it out. He's in his last few races of being a pro. I can only introduce you a couple more times, Durbo, as a pro of Jacob Alula. Can't believe it.
It's coming up quick.
You feeling it?
Well, someone asked me, like, you're sad about every other races. I said, there's certain races I'm sad I'm not doing again, but today
Renewy Tour.
Renewy, yeah. I do remember in Renewy when I was doing my last race last season that there was this moment, I think I've said this before on the pod, there was this moment where it was just like filthy in the crosswind, side rain. I was just in the gutter just like grimacing, and then I just actually was able to laugh about it because I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to enjoy this. The last time I'll ever be able to ride with an elite crew at 50k an hour in a crosswind like this. This will never happen again, ever in my life.
You remember that Renewy, Mitch, or the Eneco, when we crashed in the neutral, there was like massive pile up and we had to stop the race. Like they dropped the flag and the whole bunch came down. You also came down at one point. And it was just like they dropped the flag. It was like flag drop and then boom. And then like everyone was just like stop. And then it was like 5 guys got through and everyone was like, hold up, we probably should just let everyone get up and restart the race. And then we got up and then they restarted the race.
I've actually wiped that from. That was where I did break my elbow though.
You did come down, but I don't think you broke your elbow in that one. But yeah.
No. Anyway, look, boys, let's talk about Renewy. Let's save Renewy for the next pod. This is the Race Emergency pod. This is the Race Communiqué. This is Life in the Peloton brought to you by our partners at MAP. But the Race Communiqué is exclusively being brought to you, you guys know this, by our friends at Training Peaks. This is crazy. I have discovered something new on Training Peaks Virtual. It's called Training Peaks Virtual My Routes. Listen to this. You can create your own GPX and drop it into Training Peaks Virtual, and you can ride your own route. Like I did a route the other day. I was like, nah, this surely can't be right. Surely this, I don't know how this could really work. So I created Lenny to Mount Macedon.
Of course you did. Milani.
I was going to say, like, Everesting Macedon or something.
Well, it started outside my house, and then so what you have to do is you can't schedule it straight away. It's got to be like 5 minutes in the future, so it doesn't take long. It takes the Google Maps images as well from your area, so it creates.
No way.
Yeah, it's nuts. We were standing outside my joint, like it's
no way.
I'm seeing Southam's mind start ticking about reconning of stages here. He's just like, oh, like
it's not. To be fair, it's not picture perfect, but it's close enough. And awesome. we rode straight out the main street of Lanny, and then we're on our way to Mount Macedon. And then I sort of got tailed off as we went up Macedon. Then I got over it and I quit it. But you know what? It was hard. It was so good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And Durbo, we have got our virtual session coming up. We're going to do it second rest day of the Vuelta. And you know what I thought we could do? For me anyway, nostalgia, you probably don't really want to do this. Good old-fashioned Banyoles loop.
Ooh, I like it.
What do you reckon?
I like it. I thought you were going to do the Angliru or something, but I'm happy about that.
No, because I thought it's such an iconic ride. If you live in Girona, everyone's doing a Banyoles recovery. That's the standard loop. And I thought, well, second rest day, what could we do? We're not going to do like an Angliru or, something crazy. Let's do in the theme. It's Spanish theme. It's Vuelta. Yep. Let's do a Girona loop, iconic Girona loop, Banyoles loop.
Perfect. Lock it in.
Yeah. We go around the lake, so we're not cutting through the town. We actually do the full lake, go around, then we head out towards Rocacorba. Little road, as you know, the way I used to like riding back. Little road, freeway, straight back in.
So you're telling me if I basically take the opening TT of the Vuelta, I can bang that in and stick it on and the recon's done.
Yeah, well, it's going to be different, obviously, but the boys can ride it and feel the incline and that sort of thing. It's crazy. It's so good. And I'm not a massive indoor trainer, but I was finding myself going, I can't wait to ride this tonight. I'm like, I could literally ride the Lanny ride. I am right here. But I got excited about doing the Banyoles loop. So look, guys, we are going to talk about the Vuelta. Get across to trainingpeaks.com/LITP. Put in the code LifePello for extra 20% off your premium subscription so you can ride with Durbo and I coming up. You've got a couple of weeks. Watch the Vuelta, tune in with us second rest day, and crank out a Banyoles loop. Durbs, looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
We should get a brew stop in there.
We should actually, yeah.
Should we get into it, boys?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So look, the Vuelta is here. It's been a long wait. My favourite Grand Tour, arguably the whole Peloton's favourite Grand Tour. I'm not going to go out on a limb and confirm that, but we all know that's true. It is an absolute cracking Vuelta this year. We've got some big news. We're going to talk about the contenders after, but Tadej Pogačar has decided to line up for it, and that is huge news for the Vuelta. We've also got Wout van Aert who's going to be lining up. So we'll get into the riders afterwards, but I just want to give you guys some stats. You thought the tour had some climbing this year, didn't you, Derbs? You were banging on about how hard it was, and you said, moaning. Moaning, exactly. It's another 1,000 meters, essentially a whole another climb. Vuelta.
I look forward to not being the pro in this spot anymore.
Listen to this. Giro this year, 48,000 meters of climbing. The tour had a decent amount of climbing, 54,000 meters. Vuelta, just a measly 58,000. Just four. It is 10,000 more meters than the Giro. It makes the Giro sound like the Tour of Denmark.
Yeah, I bet the ASO's plan is to make the LCS feel like that.
It is outrageously steep. Like the stages are absolutely crazy.
I can imagine the Giro's longer too in kilometers. Do you have that stat in front of you or not?
I don't have that stat in front of me, but they're all roughly around the same. Yeah, it's not that much longer. Well, by the time you add the neutrals in and so on and so forth.
21K neutral first day. 21K. I have that. Crazy. 10K climbing it.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
25. There's literally 20. No, the Vuelta this year, 25K.
Stage 1.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? You're doing the first week, aren't you, Southam?
Up to the first rest day, yeah.
So you're gonna probably know these stages a hell of a lot more than I will. But starting down in Monaco this year, it's actually the first city to host all Grand Tour departs of the Grand Departs of all Grand Tours. Quick quiz question: when did the Tour host it?
2009.
No,
when did the Giro?
Oh, host, yeah, true.
When did the Giro host it? You get this, Southam, you're a freak.
I actually don't know. No, I can't.
99 or something.
No.
1966.
You would have been a freak. Yeah.
The Vuelta has only started outside of Spain 7 times, so it's pretty significant. And starting with the 9K prologue, it's pretty hilly. And as I mentioned, Pogačar, it's starting in his hometown, lumpy first stage. But the thing that makes this Vuelta really, well, I guess just suited to now Pogačar starting here is just how the race is starting, really. A lumpy prologue, so the GC is going to be relatively sorted out already day one. Straight into stage 2, it's a 3,000-metre stage, 215K, straight up, heading across through France. Stage 3, you know this road, Derbs, they're heading up to Font-Romeu, the longest climb in the world, from France all the way up Perpignan way to Font-Romeu. 70K climb, 2,600 metres of climbing. Hello, Andorra stage 4. This is the ultimate mama, 104K, 3,000 straight in there. Envalira, stage 1. Straight up Porto Envalira, over the top, back through the tunnel. Bicheles, bang. Ordino, cruisy one. And then, wow, this is pretty easy. Camilla on the downward way back into La Vella. So this is just like, think about this. The first 4 stages, they've done 3,000 meters of climbing, 2.6, with a 70K climb. So it's all back-ended. And then straight into 104K of 3,000 meters. Heavy start.
Heavy start. I think with a heavy start, so you just eliminate a lot of stress though, because everyone's just like, you either got legs or you don't have legs. Every time there's a heavy start, I'm just like perfect, because by the time you rock up to the first sprint stage, which I think for the Vuelta is like stage 17, and then so everyone's like, there's no stress in the bunch. Everyone's like, okay, perfect, you guys, you're already an hour and a half down, so I can just sit back here. So the Tour was great for that heavy start, I reckon. Way less crashes.
Well, the first sprint stage, if you could call it, is stage 5. But the thing is, what they've done with the sprint stages this year, I'm sure you've seen it. Yeah, have you seen these stages, Southam?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Every single
is the next sprint.
No, but every single sprint stage, they've done a Cat 3 with 20K or 30K to go, like proper climb. So
you got that day. I think you've got 40K with 800 meters climbing in small climbs, and then drop down 20Ks to go.
Yeah, 23K to go is the top of the last Cat 3. It's not. I put 1 for the sprinters? ? Is it like for the sprinters?
There's not many sprinters going though, and if you were, you'd be pretty nervous, because there'd be so many times that just want to put it under pressure. We can go into that later, but yeah, it's definitely going to be pretty hard if you're a sprinter at the Vuelta.
Well, Pedersen's going. This guy Brennan's going, but you know what? Van Aert's
he's going to go all right over those climbs.
Yeah, but what's going to happen here with Van Aert? And like Van Aert's in cracking form.
Yep.
So
Benton, he can go right uphill.
But what's going to happen with Visma then? And
you look at it. Brennan. You've got Caden Groves climbs like a beast and sprints. Mads Pedersen climbs like a beast. Walt Van Aert, Brennan, Turner. Like, it's actually like there's probably more guys that want to put pressure on the climb normally to get rid of sprinters than there is. So it's almost like, unless, say, like Groves is a little bit off and he wins the first sprint stage, then they're like, okay, we're going to put him under pressure. But like in the end, it'd be like, might even be easier, because they're like, what's the point? We're not going to drop any of those boys anyway. So why do we go to the front and rip it? It might actually be more control, you know? It's not like Mads Pedersen wants to drop the entire Tour de France sprint field, you know?
My question was more the internal battle in Visma bike, you know, because you've got Brennan who's in good shape. Obviously, but Van Aert's coming back. He's in top shape. Laporte's just been announced as well. He's moving as well. These guys, it's going to be how they're going to communicate this sprint battle here.
It's a big ask to say, Van Aert, you lead out Brennan, isn't it?
Totally. It's a huge ask.
That would be the way they would do it, for sure.
You reckon?
Yeah. Because like Brennan's not going to lead out anyone. He's a sprinter. He's a winner. He's young. Like Van Aert, if Brennan's not there, can sprint. But if Brennan's there, Van Aert's going to lead him out 100%. And you're in the box. You're not going to lose the stage if Van Aert leads out. But maybe.
But you've also got Laporte there that could just lead Van Aert out, and they're never going to lose the stage.
And I imagine if Brennan's not there, if he's gone, if he's really struggling, sure, you'd do that. But like, why? Like, Brennan's a future.
So is Brennan going to beat Pedersen
for Worlds?
Yeah, I'd back Brennan. Far out, man. Like this year, we haven't seen him as much as, but like, remember the stuff he was doing last year, like in those.
He'd probably beat Mads Pedersen actually in a core sprint, couldn't he? Yeah.
I'll back him too. I reckon he would be the fastest sprinter there and most capable. And then you add those two in front of him. It's like you want to nail on your wins before you start worrying about like someone's ego a little bit, you know. And Van Aert is also pretty team oriented, from what I understand.
He is, but I think for more superior riders who are riding in the GC, I've never seen him have to do lead outs in sprints for other riders.
But I think as he goes with age, he's probably getting a little bit more of a sniper. Like he's going like, okay, I'm going to pick Roubaix, I'm going to go for that, and the rest of the time I'm going to do my work and whatever. Now I'm going to be like, you know, I'm going to do this stage and win that and then get out of here or whatever.
I don't think he's at that point yet, though. Surely not. He's just won Roubaix this year.
Because he focused
he's just dominated. He's just absolutely dominated.
But he didn't dominate
the lead-up race.
He didn't dominate the classics. Like he didn't dominate the classics. He dominated the Roubaix.
Well, that's essentially half the classics.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like Van Aert started from San Remo all the way through doing what those boys were doing. He was going good.
Where's Brennan got to be over the top of Van Aert in this?
But Brennan's basically, I would imagine they've built his whole year going into this. Like this is, because if you look at his season, it's been quiet. He's been left and right, and he's been like kept ready for this. And I reckon he's going to walk away with basically, you get one sprinter who wins every stage that's halfway a sprint stage, you know, like Merlier did at the Tour, and they get the flow and they get the lead out working, and it's like, right, bam, 3-4 stages.
Van Aert. It'll be Van Aert, that guy you're talking about.
Fucking won't.
Oh, mate, he was there on the roadside when he saw Van Aert win Roubaix, and now it's just like he's got a tattoo. Yeah. You know,
I'd always been a massive Van Aert fan. Well, look, anyway, before we go on and on about who's going to win what sprint, let's just run through the rest of the first week, because the rest of the first week is still pretty heavy. They decided to squeeze. Let's just fast forward a little bit, because stage 6, I want a medium mountain day, just a lazy 2,900 meters. As they cruise down, they've got some climbing in there. They've actually got the El Bartolo climb on stage 6, which is a gravel climb featuring 3.5K of gravel, which is, once again, they're calling it a medium mountain stage, but there's barely any stages here that are really under 3,000 meters throughout the whole Vuelta. So they have to have that amount of climbing just to get to, 5,800 meters of climbing throughout the 3 weeks. Do you know much about that climb, Southam? I've never done it myself.
So I've seen quite a bit of detail about it. It's not just so much the gravel. Like the gravel's kind of sealed. It looks okay, but it's just how steep it is. Because we do like the approach. We do the climb, drop down, and then come back up. You do the same first part, and then they stick on another 3.5 Ks, which basically ramps up like 10% of the gravel in. So
the gravel's only the last bit.
It's the last bit, and then you rejoin the same descent, and then you've got quite a bit of like maybe 8 Ks of flat again after that at the bottom. So. But it's super hard. It's really difficult. You're gonna need minutes if from being down the road to stay away and not get caught by accident just because of the accumulation of those 2 climbs.
Like the next day, again, 3,500 meters of climbing, stage 7. The thing that makes this stage really difficult is it finishes at 2,000 meters at 2,000 meters above sea level. So they've gone twice here. I've actually done this in 2014. I called Brett Lancaster during the week. was like, Bert, do you remember this climb? He's like, no, I don't remember. Like, I think I was just pulling on during the day. Like, we were clearly in the race. I can't remember it. Heras won in 2005. and O'Connor won from the breakaway in 2014. So they've had two finishes up here already. First summit finish in the first week, stage 7, finishing 2,000 meters already on the back of the stage that you said before, Southam. So once again, like it's just continually suited to the climbing legs in this Vuelta. This is before they're going south. They're moving south because as they go in, stage 8, once again, flat stage with a nice little Cat 2 at 20K to go, if you want to call it a flat stage. Only 1,200 meters of climbing, but they just like to sneak that Cat 2 with 20K to go.
Yeah.
But this is the real whammy here. Stage 9, they hit the Costa Blanca, so now they're in the south. It's essentially the hardest stage, arguably the hardest stage of the Vuelta, stage 9. 5,000 meters of climbing, 190K. They're going up the Alto Aitana, which is 20K at 8%, the final climb. And they've got the Miserat before, which is mid-stage, is another Cat 1, 5K at 10%. They've got six categorized climbs in this. It's an uncategorized uphill start. This is all the crescendo of the first week. Typically the Vuelta is the Grand Tour that you test out a young rider on. There's some riders. Look, I'm going to retract my comments about the Vuelta here. Look, I'm no disillusions here. It's a mixed bag that go to this race. You've got new riders going to it. You've got riders who are looking for a contract. You've got riders who are just filling a spot. This first week is going to seriously sort anyone out who is either 1, not ready for it, too young, or just fresh legs. 2,
over 68 kilos.
Over 68 kilo. Or 3, just at the end of the season, just a bit tired. You know what I mean? Like there's this question of sort of backing up. Now, I guess if we talk about Pogačar here, backing up from the tour, there's been a bit of chat about, he was actually taking the foot off the gas in the last week of the tour preparing for the Vuelta. I hope so because, the other contenders here, Felix Gall, these guys who haven't been racing as much, Primož Roglič, it's another question about him, but let's just say he came in fully fit. There is an element of freshness the way that this race is looking this year because of how heavy it is already before stage 9. It's not one of those tours that, it's going to be back-ended. It's just heavy the whole way through. Is there any discussion, Southam, the way you've been looking at the stage, you sort of see any kind of difference here? Or Durbo, if you see this as a rider now, how is the Peloton going to attack this? Is it just sort of the way that's like, this is just too hard, we're just going to put the brakes on here and not be racing so aggressive?
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I don't see what I've seen from the last couple of tours, Grand Tours, whatever. It's just that everyone throws the kitchen sink at every single day, and if you're not physically up to it, you just go home. So I personally see the Vuelta as having like maybe one of the least amount of finishes. Just because you've got, like you said, young guys off a contract, just tied into the season. Everyone will just race full gas, and you have like a select probably 50 that have found this form or have prepped this form, and you'll just see those 50 guys every single day. And then you won't see anyone else. They'll either just be getting dropped straight away or limping through or whatever, and you'll just see these guys. And it happens in the tour as well. Like some guys just have this form, and they can't not be in the breakaway, or they cannot be up the front. But the rest of you don't see them because they're just on this, just suffering through. So it'll be pretty interesting. But I think I reckon you'll see a lot of DNFs because of how heavy that first week is. And then also if you get like some sort of heat added to it as well, which we don't really have at the moment. It's a little bit lower now in Europe. But as you go down south, it gets pretty bloody hot down there.
Well,
so, yeah.
From there, from stage 9 for the rest of the tour, it's all down south. And I'm going to just grab a couple more stages here. I'm not going to go through everything, but look, stage 12 is another doozy of a stage. Almost 5,000 meters once again, 4.5 here. They're going up the Belafica, which is a big old climb here, category 1, 13K at 7%. This is down in Andalusia. So this is an element of obviously another big climbing day, but they're in this area. They've used this area filming the old Clint Eastwood spaghetti Western film. So it's like those days where you just got those open plains, hot, baking hot sort of Andalusian, that mountain sort of dry area. And then you add these climbs to it, fully exposed. So it's not only the gradient of the climbs or the severity of the climbs, it's everything rolled into it. The heat. This is what they've gone. The Calor Alto actually, is the final climb that day. Once again, another 15K at 6% with 12% ramps in it. So look, a serious day there. Stage 14, again a hilltop, 4,500 meters. But look, let's just fast forward to the last couple of days. Stage 20, this is what I was talking about. This is arguably the other Queen stage. It is 5 cat climbs, 5,000 meters, 205K. They've left it right until the final day before they go in. The last climb here, the Agla Lucille, this one, 9K, 10%. It's one of those climbs, Turbo, that just gets steeper and steeper and steeper. They've never used it before. This is typical for Vuelta fashion. They keep inventing climbs. I love this. And I've always joked about this, that they just find climbs and like, take the concrete truck up the top and let the concrete roll down the side of the mountain. There you go. There's a new road. Done. That's what this new climb is. It's a special climb. It's the only special climb they've got in it, uncategorized climb. And it's the last climb of the whole race. Except there's an exception. Stage 21. They've been listening to the pod because 99K, they're finishing down at the Alhambra. I think they make a beer down there, Durbo. I'm not too sure.
Oh, yeah, I've had it. Yeah, I've had it once or twice. I think it's quite good, yeah.
Have they been listening to the pod and have they taken a page out of the Tour de France, the Montmartre? This, though.
Definitely.
So what's happening here is
they've definitely been listening to the pod.
The question is,
me and Predon,
if you thought the Tour de France stage was hard, Durbo, this is arguably much harder. This is actually a bit of a brutal stage. It's a full-blown stage, 4 times up the Alhambra. Similar to in the way to the Montmartre, because it's a 1K climb, 7%. The Montmartre is 1K, 6%. The thing you could probably compare it to is Montjuic, 1K at 7%. They do it 7 times in the final stage of Catalunya. But they finish on the downhill, the same as the Montmartre, as you guys. Alhambra, they're doing 4 times, 7% climb, but the last time they're finishing at the top. No GC stopped. So you will have to fight to the line on stage 21. Is that what you've heard, Southam? Is this true?
I have not heard that. No.
But saying that during the tour, the rules changed because the riders kick up a stink. So we just got to wait and see. So I'm sure we'll get halfway through and everyone will be like, it's the hardest Vuelta that's ever been done. There's 60 guys left in the entire race. And then they'll be like, well, let's just all hold hands and ride across the finish because everyone's so tired. And probably will have 15 minutes by then. So, we will see. But it's a theme. And look, the ASO is the organizer, so I can't be... it's ASO run it and fund it, but it's actually it's a different group that does the route. It's Kiko Garcia. Yeah. Kiko, that's right. Yeah,
it does. Yeah. So it is quite like, because I had this idea a while back that it was like, oh no, it's a full ASO thing, but the ASO kind of go and they send a few people to oversee and this and that. But I think there's some. I mean, when you do the race, there's some differences. So it is run. It's not like Gouvenou doing the route. It's run entirely by a different thing, and then ASO just kind of fund it, I guess.
Let's just go straight into who's going to podium for you guys and why.
Okay, so there's this young Slovenian guy. I'm gonna go Pog. I'm gonna go Richie. I'm gonna go Gal.
So Richie's riding GC.
I mean, I don't care whether he wins 8 stages and comes second, having been 48 minutes down, but if he gets there, that's fine. I'm going with him. Richie's good. Why wouldn't he? On a course like this, you can't be in the race and not be on GC.
Yeah, that's so true. If you go up the stages, you're on GC. It's just impossible not to. Like you said, you're going to eat up.
Is he going to be able to back up?
He did in 24. He was fourth in the Vuelta after winning the mountains in the Tour. Apart from one day in the heat when he struggled early on with some just basically non-adaptation to the heat, he was actually flying. So then he made that time back up. But basically, I don't see why you go against him. He's got a much better track record than, obviously not Roglic, but if you look at the other people we're talking about for the podium, your Gals, your Onleys, and so on, I'd back Richie.
What about Primoz? Primoz is confirmed as of today. He's back in. So in case anyone doesn't know, he was hit by a car at the end of July training up at altitude in Austria. Initially, he wasn't really concerned, but then afterwards, he had some bruising on the back of his leg. He pulled out of San Sebastian and then Burgos. So he's had no racing since the Slovenian Nationals, and there was a question around him whether he was going to ride. He's the only other winner who's won it 4 times. Roberto Heras, also the other 4 times winner. So he is looking for that 5th title. There's question around whether he's going to be at Bora next year as well. So he's also up contract, 36. There's a whole lot of stuff going around with Primoz Roglic. He is the Spaniard, though. He is, he's the dancing. I mean, in terms of
sure
he's Slovenian, but I mean, he's the bull.
He is the king of the Vuelta. If you think about it, the last decade, he's had so many Vuelta wins.
He's the bull. He's the matador.
I can't see him arriving at the level needed or required to do something. Potentially could just find something inner beast in him, which is a freak, and win a stage. But I don't see him riding GC. But that's just me personally, seeing what he's come and his prep and everything. He's done no racing pretty much all year. Hit by a car. Yeah, I just don't see it happening.
So who'd you go, Southam? You went Pogačar, Richie, Gal. Gal off his win at the Burgos.
And just being a good cyclist who's good at Grand Tours and can climb. Those sort of factors.
He was second at the Giro, second at the Giro this year, so not bad.
What about
added those factors?
What about Onley?
So Onley's in my. I got Onley for second.
Yours?
I had Poggy, Onley, Richie, Carapaz for third.
No Gal. Don't rate Gal.
No, I mean, it's a big call to ride second GC and Giro, and I know he's won Burgos, but then to double up in the same Grand Tour and expect to be on the podium, hasn't done that before. Don't know if that's in him. He is an amazing cyclist, but I'm not sure. So the reason I went Onley was just purely because there's going to be a big just battle for second. Poggy's going to be alone, and then there's going to be guys in the background. And Onley he's had this such a long preparation. They've been looking at him the entire season in Ineos to try and get him to the level. And he's had training camps on training camps. And then he had a crash in Dauphiné, and it was just a little bit of good signs. But I think it's tactically well done by Ineos that he was still not top level at Burgos. And I just think the slow build he's had throughout the whole year, and he's signed as his 4th in the Tour, big dog, their next big hope. I just feel like it's going to come together for him at the Vuelta, and he's just going to be just a solid second place. Not necessarily, things going to be best of the rest. And the reason I didn't pick him over Richie is because I really feel like if it comes down to it, Richie's going to prefer to win stages and take the losses than be on the GC. So he's going to be you know what I mean? He'll be off the KOM jersey, and I don't think it's Richie's going to be I'm not going to win a stage at all and run second on GC. I think he's going to be fuck that. I'd prefer to go and win 3 stages and be top 5.
What about the real Spanish matador? Enric Mas. 6 times in the last 6 appearances, 6 times in the top 6, and 3 times on the podium. And you're not even including him on the podium. This is his race.
Yeah.
It's true. He's got to stay on his bike, though.
And yeah. I mean, it's funny how it's easy to forget because he just rides that race where he just sits there, you know, and maybe that could suit him. But I mean, none of these guys TT especially well. There's a 32k TT in it, which will probably be what separates the next guys behind Pog, because if it's all close and Pog's dominating, and they're sort of, then that 32k TT, which is pretty flat, is going to come into it. But then I don't see, you know, Gal had a shocker at the Tour of Italy, didn't he?
It's not, the thing is, it's not pancake though. It's still 170 meters, but
it's like, and it's competition between guys who aren't it's nobody. There's nobody there who like jumps out and it's like, oh, they're just going to need to wait and hang there and lose just a couple of seconds a day and then smash everyone in the TT. But you know, when you remember how well Hugh Carthy TT'd in that 2020 Vuelta when he was up there. You know, he was third on the TT or something like that. So,
well, I've gone for my top three is Poggy, Primoz, Gull. I think Roglic is going to do it. I think the freshness is going to be key in this race. Gull doesn't like the heat, even though he said he loves the heat. Actually, he does say he loves the heat. He does. He's actually been quoted he loves the heat. So I actually do have a quote here saying actually he loves the heat. So that was he likes the heat. He has said it many times in interviews is my quote. So that debunks that quote. But look, I think I'm backing the Slovenian.
Backing the old dog.
The old dog. I think there's so much on the line for him. He's a cagey animal. When it comes to the Vuelta, he knows how to do it. The end of the season, he's been out of master it 4 times. And maybe, you never know, maybe Pog's going to be soft on him.
I could see a stage win because, you know, with these, like, you have these guys who are so good and then they're like, as they go past their best. Remember when Sagan popped up and won that Giro stage, just like absolute pure class. Alaphilippe last year when he won in Canada, just pops up out of nowhere and does this, like, you're like, oh yeah, this guy was unreal. And I could see him doing that. I think finishing second is a stretch though.
But I reckon, remember when Poggy first came on the scene and he did the Vuelta and Roglic was at his prime and he was like, Poggy was going up the road and he, like, Primoz was like, yeah, young Slovenian guy. It's kind of cool to see him going well. Like, not saying gave him some stages, but there were some moments where you're thinking, oh, did he give him that? I could see like Poggy getting bored with the Vuelta, and that's why my next pick was potentially going to be a UAE guy, because what he did with Del Toro, he got bored at the Tour and then he was like, well, I'll park it now and become a domestique and try and deliver another person and a life-changing result. And I thought, there's Jay Vine in that team, there's Sivakov, there's a few boys in there that'd be like, maybe I won't mess it up now, I'll just help them out. But like, for example, if it comes down to Primoz and Primoz is maybe retiring, maybe moving on, whatever, and Primoz did the same to Poggy so long ago, you might get Poggy to be like, here you go, mate.
Go back and ride for him. Yeah, that's what I was indicating. It'd be great. It'd be great. What about who's your standout rider from this year's Vuelta? Look, the Vuelta can provide some really good sort of opportunities for riders just on the cusp to come forward and show something, get a stage win or even do a GC result. As you mentioned, Poggy, this was his breakout, I guess, Grand Tour.
I got a good one. I'm going to go back in Paul Dobble to come out for do a good Grand Tour. Because he did this year, I did Giro last year or something as a first Grand Tour, and he faded really hard. He made a few efforts early on that cost him. I think he's learned a lot since then. He's won stage races. He's like mature. He's under the radar, and some of those finishes, if he gets into the right move, he could do something.
But all Paul needs to do is literally get to the bottom of that climb. And like in the other day, he's flying at the moment. He just he left the entire field at a climb in Spain the other day, pretty decent riders, Scaroni and all this sort of stuff, and he was a 25-second solo by the top. But he just got wrapped up in the finish, but I think Paul's going pretty well, so that's a good shout there.
I reckon young Luke Tuckwell. I think Tuckwell, we spoke to him after his second at GC at Rhone Alps. He said that he's had the Vuelta on his plan. He's only done 46 race days this year. I'm tipping him for a stage win. Maybe a top 20 on GC. It just depends how everything goes with Roglic. But look, he did.
How many places Roglic takes in the top 10?
Well, how much work he has to do for him. If Roglic actually just doesn't do anything and then they get a bit of freedom. But the thing is, he didn't finish Burgos. So I don't know what happened there. I haven't got any intel on that. So whether that's actually sickness or he crashed, or I haven't been able to find that out. So Tuckwell's my pick, the young Aussie.
If he could win stage 9, we could probably get a voice note for the rest day.
That's true.
If he doesn't mind.
That's just not a bad stage to take.
He can do the emergency pod instead of me. I'm going to go recent winner of Tour of Poland from Tudor, Marco Brenner. So, just look, throughout Poland was pretty impressive, and then he has been going pretty well this year. And I just thought, like, recent success in Poland is pretty brutal race, and Tudor sort of, kind of like the way they do with Stora. They're sort of like under their radar, and then next minute you're like, oh, wow, like Stora's been back-to-back top 10 in Giros and Grand Tours. So maybe they'll just have this idea of, and they're a pretty well-drilled unit. Kung's coming back and he's going as well. So, I just thought
Kung is.
Could see him all over the front at least.
One stage to watch in the first week, boys. What's the stage that you can't miss if you're sitting at home and you only want to see one stage in the first 10 days? What's it going to be?
Well, you took my stage because I was going to say Andorra, and I was going to rattle off all the climbs and whatever because I knew them all and what we're going to do. But I'm personally going to go with the Andorran stage close to home, and it's going to be pretty cool. Like, I think all those climbs, we haven't had a stage with all those climbs. And those climbs now are like the most common training climbs in Andorra. So it's like...
What do you mean you haven't had a stage with all those climbs? There's been...
No,
I've done that.
We have,
I've done
I'm just
that
saying,
stage.
like, in a few years, we haven't had one. And it would be awesome to see like some new PBs, Strava times, like records broken. Poggy comes, destroys it. You know what I mean?
Puts a few guys out to time cut.
Just getting some fast times up there. It'd be good. See what Poggy can do up Ordino.
That'll be freaky as you're rolling out of neutral. It'll be in Lavella, and you just... I've done that start. And I remember I got to the flat bit before the tunnel, just past... Yes. That's where I got to. I was in my mind, I had to get there, got there, and then just got piped on the way up over the top, that last bit. But it's super scary as a sprinter on that stage because the time cut's so short on a 100K stage. So, yeah, I also said that stage because it's just going to be a punchy, fast stage to watch. There'll be riders everywhere. But, yeah, to a degree, I'm maybe retracting this. I sort of want a bit more because Pog could just make it, unfortunately, not that exciting if he just pisses off and just rides solo. So it'll just depend on what he does, really. Southam?
Stage 6. I'm hoping by then Pog's won every stage. I hope he goes out and he just wins like stage 1 to 9 every stage, and then after that just chills.
But stage 6, you mean he's going to win that too, the gravel stage?
Of course, he's going to win it.
Van Aert, though, it's gravel.
Yeah, it's like a massive climb.
Stage
6 would be good. Stage 6 would be good. Little like filthy finish circuit with a couple climbs, bit of gravel, tricky. It'd be a good stage.
Nice, boys. Look, it was very difficult to get through this whole Vuelta because there is actually a lot in this one. But I'm going to be commentating a little bit of this one, my favourite Grand Tour. It's going to be hot. Southern's going to be there on the ground. And look, we're going to be maybe trying to check in during the race with a bit of an emergency pod. So let's leave it there until Durbo, you want to give us a bit of Pelo
sounds good. Pelo chat. All right, boys. This week's Pelo chart. I thought it would be interesting to look into the hidden art of scouting. Look, there's always been scouting throughout cycling, managers, development teams, etc. But I feel like it's sort of moving into more of a public knowledge. Like people now teams have their own like specific scouts, and it's like they're sending them out to races and they're signing riders more and more younger than they used to. So it's becoming more crucial to sort of try and acquire your future Pogačar earlier than it is later. One, because they're expensive, and to its sort of, as you see what Pogačar has done to UAE, it's pretty much changed that entire team and made it a powerhouse. And without Pogačar, you wouldn't have been there. So actually getting that rider in your team can potentially, bring on sponsors, bring money, bring results, bring UCI points. So everyone's sort of thinking if they get that guy and they somehow can hold on to him, then it would change the entire team. So it's pretty important. A good friend of ours, good friend of the pod as well, is Michael Hepburn, Heppy, and he is recently just, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Heppy. So I reached out to him. He's recently just started a role at Red Bull as a junior scout there. And I thought I'd just sort of ask him some questions about what he thought. Well, I'll read the questions out anyway, just to get some idea of what his job role is and what it looks like, because I literally have no idea about that game, and I thought potentially a lot of people wouldn't know. So I asked him, I said, pretty much basically in a short snippet, like, what are you looking for in a rider? You might sign to the Red Bull Junior or under 23 team. They have two teams, under 19, and they have also under 23. What tests or parameters you look at? Is there an age limit? And because riders are signing much younger, you have less chance to see certain tactics or personal traits that make a good rider. How do you try to work this out with limited racing and contact? So those were the basic questions that I asked him just to elaborate on. And he sent this voice message back.
Hey, Derbs. So my job is basically about trying to identify young guys who we believe in 2, 3, 4 years' time can develop into successful World Tour cyclists. We have both the under-19 and the under-23 team, so I start watching riders pretty young. Under-17 is really where I'll start following them closely because those guys are obviously coming into the junior category pretty soon. And the earlier we can identify them, the longer we potentially have to develop and work with them. And I think that also makes it easier for us to keep them down the line. At that age, I actually really like seeing guys who aren't completely optimized. Maybe they're not training massive hours. Where are they at with their schooling? They're doing other sports or different cycling disciplines, and they're not yet focused on all those little 1%ers. It means that hopefully there's still a lot of development to come, and these are a few of the things that can give us a little bit more info on their projected development. We also know that guys develop at different stages. So if someone's already performing strongly as a first-year junior, does that mean that they'll make it to the World Tour? Not necessarily. And we know that there are other guys that nobody really notices until deep into the under-23 category. A big part of the job is going to races and watching them in person. Obviously, we look at results and power data, but there's much more to it than that. Looking at how do they position themselves in the races? Do they read races well? What do they look like on the bike? How do they interact with their teammates? What's their character like, their family environment? And do we ultimately think they have that drive that's required to make it in this sport? And we're also well aware that guys come from other sports, so we're not exclusively focused on cycling. Sometimes we'll ask riders to do specific testing, but often from their existing data, we can get a pretty good idea of where they are physically, what their training history looks like, and importantly, how much development we think is still there. You also see riders who race much better than their power numbers might suggest, and sometimes the opposite, which is why we never want to look at data in isolation. Ultimately, our goal isn't really to win junior races, not at all. It's to identify talent, develop and educate those riders, give them the tools and support to reach their potential, and hopefully eventually hand them over to our World Tour team. And all of that while they're 17, 18-year-old kids, and we want them to be 18-year-olds and not to miss out on that stage in their life. And even if they eventually reach the World Tour with another team, because we know that there's always going to be limited spots, I think we can still see that as a pretty successful outcome.
Okay, perfect. So thanks for that, Heppy. As you can hear, I didn't really recognise him. He spoke
Sounds very professional.
Amazing.
I had the same feeling when I heard it. I'm like,
yeah, wow, yeah. So I was blown away by that. And
that's going to be you when you retire, Durbo.
Yeah, yeah. Speak a bit more eloquently than what I do now. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Just purely about, for me, it was like looking for the non-optimized young athlete, which Heppy mentioned in there. just so they got room to move. And I guess that makes sense because, the whole reason for these development programs are to develop the rider. And you do see that quite often with like young guys coming in, first year pro, scales, personal scales at UAE, trying to, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's where the sport's going. But you sort of look and go, oh, okay, so if you're at this level right now, you're doing more than most, or you're doing the exact same amount as Pogačar or someone like that, altitude camps. So you're sort of thinking, well, if that's your level by doing this, then there is no real room to move. So not saying you have to be overweight and not trained, but there is some elements of like, okay, this is what's going wrong. But also how important those junior races are becoming, because the scouts are there now. Now, it was prior to that was your Tour of L'Avenir and your World Championships and your maybe national titles, where you could look on the results sheet and say, oh, this kid he's pretty good. But now it's like,
what races? Yeah, what races is he going to? That's what I was wondering when he said he's going out to under 17 races. Like, how does he find out about these races?
Well, they're on YouTube. They're on YouTube. Like, Hippie comes to my place sometimes, and he might drive to Cantabria. The other week, he drove to Cantabria in Spain for an under 17 tour in Spain, and he was just watching this for the week, and it was like a 4-day stage race for juniors and under 17. And then next week he was in Barcelona for an uphill time trial, and then he's in Belgium for a couple of other mini, kermesses or little mini pro races for juniors. So there's always races going on, but it's kind of like if you think about
who finds the races. Does he have to find out about all these? Like, he wasn't here at the 3-day tour out in the back of Lanny.
Well, there you go.
No, but I think a lot of that. What you're doing there is actually like just being a face at the race, right? So it's like they know you, because I genuinely, it's like, what can you really see from an uphill TT? You watch it, it's like someone pedals well or they go fast or whatever. It's like, it's still pretty marginal, but it's almost like it's the other way around where like, so Sexas's agent worked with Sexas 3 years for free before he was anything. And he knew the family, and now it's like, now it's locked in and now it's payback, right? So it's almost like you going out and basically Heppy's selling ball. He's selling like Red Bull as like a team that cares, and you have to be there, and the parents see him, and you get trust, and you also get to know the athlete, and then if they do develop, great. I mean, it's insane. Because also, like, why would you stay at one team over another for less money? And that's like ultimately what you would really want to do in a competitive environment. Have someone turn around and be like, I want to stay here because whatever.
Well, I think I know the juniors. I don't think they get paid in under 19 level. It's actually just about the opportunity. And like you said, Tom, if you see them there and you were like, well, I remember when there was development programs when we were going through, it was the AIS, and you saw they produced World Tour pros, and then there was another development program that was like offering you maybe 10 grand or something. And you're like, oh, actually, I'm just going to go with AIS because I know, there's been guys before me that have got to where I want to go. So you're still living at your mum and dad's. You're not necessarily worried about making $10,000, but, that's.
I think, but I hear what you're saying, Deb, but I think the game's significantly changed now, because it's not the difference between 10 grand. It's probably a substantial amount of money where it does alter that decision regardless of the best development. It probably comes, the financial would cloud it in a way. So I hear what you're saying, Southam, too, is that, and it was interesting hearing what Heppy said there about, you know what, we understand we're not going to get all of them and they're going to go to other teams, but that's also okay, that they just, whether they believe that or not, that
surprised me a little bit, because that's why allegedly the BMC stopped their under 23 program, because they were just like sick of bringing guys on who left for other teams. And when Heppy said that, I was like, it's interesting. But I guess if you've got that attitude, you're prepared to lose a few, you probably end up keeping more because you're not desperate,
Yeah, but if you're an under 19 or a junior and you thought, potentially I'm the next greatest thing, and you not necessarily want to be stuck to Red Bull, but they have this philosophy of going, we actually just want to develop great athletes and we want to get them into the world tour, then you're probably more likely to sign, because you're thinking back then everyone's don't sign there because then you're restricted to Red Bull and there's, something going on at management up top, or Remco, you don't want to, is a brat or whatever. You don't want to be like that or whatever. Then you literally just choose it as more of a positive philosophy. I think it's a smart way of going about it. Like, we just want to develop good athletes. And if you say that to a parent talking to a child, your child, you don't want to be thinking, oh, we made a mistake here by locking him into one team. It's actually, we just want our son to be his best, or girl to be the best athlete possible.
That's good. Really good, Durbs. Love that. And I think, as you mentioned in the message, there's a whole episode with Heppy, which I'd love to explore and bring that to everyone on Life in the Peloton to really sort of flesh this out way more than we've been able to here. Unfortunately, my segment went on a little too long, which rarely does.
Thanks, Heppy.
All right, talking tactics. Here we go. So, back
what
to
do you got
Vuelta.
for us this week, Southam? Yeah, back to the Vuelta. Let's do it. Break us down.
Back to the Vuelta. I just want to maybe a bit of debate about this, but I put this down in writing the other day, and I was just been thinking about it. It's like, surely a 2-week Vuelta would be just fine. So if you look at like how dense this race is, I feel like we were going through it then, and it's like they've got all these stages. So I don't know what sprinters have done to piss off like the Grand Tour organizers, but like sprinters are basically being marginalized more and more for exciting racing, which means that like it's the dynamic sprinters who are coming to the fore, and the days of like a Pataki or someone like that are going. If you watched Hamburg yesterday, or if you're in it, Durbo, you see like even that course they changed with the double ascent towards the finish, that, Milan didn't get to the finish, Coy didn't get to the finish. You had to be able to repeat that steep climb effort 2 times very close to the finish to make the race, to give the race more balance. So a 3-week Grand Tour used to have, say, 5 sprint stages, like proper sprint stages.
Sprint stages, yeah.
But now they've said that like, okay, they're not good for TV or whatever, so every stage has to be dynamic. And then you look at this Vuelta and you're like, okay, it's so hard. And what the way that UAE would ride the race, or the way that I would think they would go about it, is just like I said, you smash the race early on, you get into a position of dominance, and teams, everybody else basically carries the speed of the race. Once UAE have established it and they've got it, the whole Tour de France, when UAE fell apart and they were all sick, we still maintained high speed throughout the race because everybody else is racing for this and that and the other. But my point is that we just don't need this race right now to be 3 weeks long. And I think we would have an exciting race still. You could fit in all of these core stages, but also like the Vuelta's hard in terms of transfers and stuff like that. So behind the scenes, I mean, there's 5 days in the first 9 where the riders are going to eat dinner at 9:30 at night, getting towards 10 o'clock, right? Because of the 2-hour transfers, 1 hour 45 transfers. So they're fitting in. And I feel like sometimes like the Vuelta organization could almost, because they don't want to do it, but they would almost benefit from doing a more compact race, less strain on their resources, less cost,
more sustainable.
More sustainable, and you could focus. You're always going to get good riders turn up, but this is too much to send your neo pros to now, right? Like you were saying, Mitch, it used to be a race you could send the young guys to. This is. I mean, can you imagine if you went to that when it was your first Grand Tour in 2012 and it was this?
That's what I was imagining myself. I'm like, I wouldn't get through stage 9. I was already on my hands and knees by then. And if you give me a queen stage on stage 9, like you're mentally, even if you make that, you're mentally like, how the hell am I getting through 2 more weeks? Because there's actually no let up after that either. So anyway, yeah, like I just quick question to you, Southam, is the big question around it is, why wouldn't they do 2 weeks? Why does a race like the Vuelta need to hang on to 3 weeks? What is it about that? The prestige will lose its prestige. People don't want to watch it. Why won't they do it?
I think it's heritage and prestige, and I think it's like a bit like, then you're demoting yourself as to being like, because there is a bit of a like ego scrap between the Grand Tours as to like, who's the second best, but you need to races should just make themselves unique, right?
Well, that's what I have to say. You actually carving your own story there. There's no other 2-week race, aside from Portugal.
And it frees up a bit of space to have then, keep racing after it or riders
worlds.
Worlds and that sort of stuff. To me, it seems dated now that it's because everyone's saturated with action through the Tour de France through July. Like everyone in the audience is like, wow, that was a lot of cycling. Sure, we'd like to watch a bit more, but nobody wants to watch it. Nobody wants to go all in for another 3 weeks of TV.
Well, I think no one wants to go all in with like you said, like filler stages. And I'm a big fan for the sprint stage, but you're just a bit exhausted with cycling full stop to be watching a barren backstage in the back of, on a freeway in the back of Spain somewhere where there's 3 guys that go up the road, Pellegrino breakaway. You're like, I'm a big cycling fan, but you know what? Even this is a bit much for me. That's like early season when you're starved of cycling, you froth on that. But by the end of the season, you don't need that.
I was like years ago, I was dead against the idea of like 2-week Grand Tours. Like, no way, it has to be 3 weeks. It's like it's the challenge isn't there and whatever. But now I look at it, it's just, I think what would we lose from that? Not a lot, I don't think. And I think the race would benefit. Like you said, it would. It becomes unique. It becomes something else. It becomes a challenge that other riders could possibly think about winning the GC of. Not this year with Pog, but all of a sudden it opens up. Like, not many people can win a 3-week race. Perhaps there's more who can win a 2-week race, which perhaps makes it more competitive. But
also, it creates also a unique part about the design of the race. It'd be a really different flow, how they stack the stages. Is it just a complete 2 weeks fully heavy stack? Is it 5-6 days crazy and then a little period in the middle? I don't know how they would do it, but I love the idea that it'd be really unique. You've got
would be so hard.
It'd be so hard. Awesome. I think it'd be really hard to get because like you think of a Paris-Nice, it's arguably harder than, I wouldn't say a Grand Tour, but like it does bring a new hardness into it. It's this really weird length where you're like, I don't have a rest day. The question would be, is there a rest day in it? One rest day,
Half a rest day.
Half a rest day, exactly.
Stage A and Stage B. I think that you would also get pretty much 70% of the tour. Like, if you're going to do 2 weeks, and
it's a great Worlds prep too.
Worlds prep, but also you would get like, actually, it's 2 weeks, so actually, sweet, I'll recover after the tour, and I'm going to do maybe it's like doesn't start in the exact same pace. They take the week actually from the first part. You know what I mean? They started in the next bit, so even more time to recover and prepare. And then I reckon most people would be like, the field at the Vuelta would be nearly Tour de France level field because of the 2 weeks of it. You can recover.
Are we talking 2 weeks as in Grand Tour 2 weeks, so 10 stages and then 15 days? Oh, no. It's 9 stages and then 14 days, isn't it?
Yeah, 14. Yeah. 14 stages.
You could have a rest day the day after the final stage.
Because when is the second rest day after stage?
15.
It's always Monday. So
15. So it's 15 stages you do. Yeah. No, I'm again. I like it. I really like it. Actually, I agree with you. I think that it's the thing that I like mostly about this is that they carve their own uniqueness to it. It's not like you're lessering yourself. You're like, no, we've got an even better idea.
Dynamic,
we're going to create
punchy.
A more dynamic race. Yeah, especially in the modern time, like you said. Like it's people want that. Cool.
Well, so yeah, there you go. That was my talking point. When the race organisers will tune into Life in the Peloton religiously, hear that, then I expect change. Maybe not this year, but I'll accept it in 27. I don't think they're just going to lop off the last week immediately, but 2027 should be done.
Well, they listened up last time, so yeah, perfect. Love it. Beautiful. Well, Southam, have you been away? Have you been into the library? Have you been doing your study? Have you got a quiz for us? Community quiz?
I've thrown a community quiz together, lads. I kept having these flashbacks going, have I asked these questions before? Like, have I done this same quiz? And I can't tell if I have, so forgive me if I have. Well-themed quiz. So Magnus Cort, if he rides, will be riding his last ever Grand Tour. Mm-hmm. How many stages has Magnus Cort won of the Vuelta?
2.
Both wrong.
3.
Wrong.
Oh, is it 5?
Still wrong.
Oh man.
Oh.
6.
6 stages.
A lot.
Remember, he got 3 in a year when you were his teammate, Mitch. So 2 was a low blow. You were in the team with him, and then
I wasn't in that race. I wasn't in that race
with us.
How many Grand Tour stages did he won in total? Bonus.
7. 1 stage of the tour.
8.
Close. He got 9. He got 1 Giro and 2 tour stages.
2 tour stages. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
He's a beast, isn't he?
He was, he's a machine. So, speaking of stage wins at the Vuelta, the record number of stage wins in one Vuelta is A, 8, B, 11, or C, 13.
8.
11. 13.
What? We're sucking at this.
Who got it?
Sean Kelly.
No, Freddie Martins. That was the bonus point. And the GC. So basically no points so far. Right. Mitch, can you guess Durbo's best ever individual, excluding TTTs, personal stage result at the Vuelta? Is it A 6th, B 12th, or C 19th?
How would you have ever finished 12th or 6th?
That's brutal. It's brutal. Huh?
But 19th.
There you go. We got a point on the board.
What happened that day? I can't even. Why would I have been?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Why would you have been that far up? There's no way you would have been that far up for 6. That's top 10.
That's pretty brutal, Mitch. Keep just ragging on me there.
I know, but I'm like,
right. Durbo.
What scenario would that have been that you couldn't have remembered that you would have been top 20?
Well, I don't even know how I was that. I don't even know what day it was.
You must have. I mean, you only wrote it once, right?
Yeah, I know. So I really can't remember why I would have been 19th. Error.
At some point, you must have gone, fuck, I really want a top 20. I'm just going to fucking get stuck in and see if I can outdo Johnny Walker.
Oh, it's TT. It's a time trial.
No, it's not TT. It's a road stage.
Must have been in the sprint.
Durbo, same for Mitch. A 7th, B 9th, or C 12th.
Nice. All of them good. 7th.
Mitch, do you know?
I do. I should have won that stage.
Yeah,
6th.
You're right. No,
7th.
Right.
Nice.
You're right.
1 point.
Drucker took me out that day. I was ropeable.
JP.
I actually looked at the people in front of you. It was like proper top quality.
I was in the best position. I was coming in third wheel, and Drucker came in, pushed me off the wheel, and I was like, no. And then just normally, and then just dropped the wheel in front of me, and they sprinted away. Backed me out. I was pissed.
So 1-1, the score is currently. Shout out if you know it. Which 2 teams will make their debut at this year's Vuelta?
Tudor.
That's 1.
And Q36.5.
Nope.
No.
Oh, Kern Farmer.
Modern Adventures?
Nope.
No.
Uno X.
Correct.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, never done it before. Not been in the World Tour. So, Speaking of teams, Movistar have been around since, I think, about 1980, right? But how many years did it take them to win the Vuelta? A, 5 years, B, 10 years, C, 15 years, D, they've never won it.
What was the first team of what was the first sponsor of Movistar again? Was it Banesto?
It was Reynolds, then Banesto, then Ilias Balearas, Castepan.
5 years.
10.
15 years it took them.
For Indurain?
I think it was Alano.
Yeah, Abrahano, yeah. Damn.
How many times, bonus question, have they won it?
5 times.
3?
3 times. Bonus, Durbo, in all that time. So Durbo's on 3, Mitch is on 2. Right. Past 20 years, the world has had 5 foreign starts. Who can name?
No, they've had 7.
No, in the past 20 years, not overall.
Sorry.
So, can you name those starts?
Holland, 1.
No, it's Utrecht.
That's correct.
I got that.
But I already said Utrecht. I want the city.
I said Utrecht. I said that. Holland, Utrecht.
Oh, okay. Turin?
That was mine.
Yes, Durbo.
Italy?
Yeah.
Monaco?
Doesn't count. Hasn't happened yet.
Portugal. Lisbon.
Yep.
Oh, Durbo. Oh, my God.
There's 2 more. One is another country in Holland, another city in Holland. Famous for its junior race, which I won. Happy you'll be up there soon.
It's in Friesland, isn't it? Up north.
Yeah.
It's Jens Morris was in the prologue.
Also famous for motorbike race.
They did it on the course, the prologue.
Yep.
On the Grand Prix course.
I don't know that.
Going to put you out your misery. It's Assen.
Starts with A. Damn it.
I mean, you get it after I say it. The last one is where denim comes from. It's where the fabric denim originates from. Has a Roman Colosseum there. Start with the TTT. We went through the Colosseum. No, an old one.
Oh, Verona.
Nope. Wrong country.
Greece. No.
That was a Giro. 2017.
Did you start in Spain?
Nope.
I've had too many guesses now. I'm guessing every country.
So
no.
It's Nimes.
Name's France.
Names.
So denim means de Nimes.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Names.
I do remember that one. Yeah.
So final scores: 6 to Durbo, 3 to Mitch.
Ruined.
I can ask you some more questions. How many leaders jerseys? How many different colours leaders jerseys they had?
3.
You're just digging a deeper hole now. Go on, Durbs.
5.
Yep, correct. You see, it's just going backward.
How did you know that?
It's not
what
3.
Are they? Well, no, they've had the red, the gold, and then I was seeing what was before the gold.
And there's white.
No.
Correct. Yes, they have. They've had white, orange, gold, red, and yellow.
No, Durbo's not thinking of the question wrong. He thought how many...
No, white.
He remembers that from the 55 Vuelta.
Yeah.
He followed that pretty close.
You didn't understand the question. You had no idea.
I'm just going to throw numbers out there better than you. You actually choose. I don't even think about the question. Just try and beat you. It's about competition. It's not about the game.
All right, boys. Well, we're going to do it. We'll speak to maybe during the Vuelta.
Yep.
Sounds great.
Nice.
Great to chat, boys.
Enjoy Renui.
I will. Enjoy the Vuelta.
See you, boys.
Bye.
Boys.